Okay, guys, welcome to TraderScale Success Stories. Today, we're here with Ben Matthews, who has achieved an impressive payout as part of our trading program. So, in this interview, we're going to get a behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to thrive as a funded trader with TraderScale. So, if you're curious about the journey, challenges, and rewards, please stay tuned. So, tell us about how you're feeling, Ben, today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Happy with TraderScale. Been a good
Yeah,
journey so far. Got my
brilliant.
first payout. Pretty seamless. Easy enough.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
What inspired you to start trading? What was in our community, was there anything that pulled you towards us that you liked, or was it just simply just one of those random ones?
To get a funded, some of the prices are ridiculous. And to be honest, yours to get a funded account with you guys it's a reasonable price for what you get, I feel.
Okay, that's good. We like to hear stuff like that.
Yeah.
We try to
That
be
was that was a good sell point for me, definitely.
yeah, so we try to be as competitive as possible, and so some of the guys charge ridiculous amounts of cash. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Let's start with your background. Like, where you from and how old are you?
So I'm 35 years old and I'm from Kent, but I live up in Inverness.
Oh,
Off.
you're right off. I bet it's cold up there.
Yeah, it's been really cold.
I tell you,
Yeah.
you got that
Snow's
beard.
only just cleared
You got
actually.
that
Yeah,
beard
this
to
is
keep
this
you
is
warm
keeping
though.
me
Yeah,
warm.
yeah, you got to do it. I
Yeah,
can't
I
even grow a
haven't got any
beard.
on top, so
I'm 34. I can't even grow a beard, mate. I literally, yeah. I only started adolescence when I was like 21, mate. So I'm still getting there. So like, how did you first discover trading?
so I didn't really know much about it. I knew that people were doing it, and I didn't actually realize that you've been able to trade forex for a lot longer than I thought. I mean, I guess through social media, people think it's quite a new thing, but it's been going on for quite a while now.
Been going on a long
You know,
time,
as
mate.
especially for retail more so than anything, it's been going on a lot longer for the
Yeah.
big guys, but for retail trading, it's still been is it I don't know well over 20 years anyway, is it?
Yeah, no, I think so. I think it's around that.
Yeah,
I personally just I started around 5 years ago, and but
yeah, yeah.
I always knew it was around. I knew it was about when my mum used
Mhm.
to do it a little bit. She's a maths teacher. She was pretty good. So she got
I
me
bet.
into it. She wasn't like super profitable, but like she was okay at it. But it was more like position trading, so like
Yeah, yeah, sure.
long term kind of one. So she kind of got me into it. But it's been around a while. But I think with social media and stuff, like it's been more available because there's lots of information with YouTube and stuff online now, right? So did you
Yeah,
have like a
exactly.
specific moment? Was there a moment you thought, let's go for it?
Well, what attracts me to it the most is the freedom. That's my goal eventually is to just once my I can replace my salary and then I'm going to trade full time, and it's the fact that you can trade from you're not
Anyway.
you're not tied down to one location. That's a big seller for me.
Yeah, that's currently like what I'm doing. And I'm trading for a hedge fund. So
Yeah,
it's like I can bounce around. Well, not wherever. I've got to be in a good time zone because if I go to a certain place, the time zone's like, crazy.
yeah, you're in the
And
middle of
I gotta get up at like
the
2 a.m. and then like I think actually California is like the worst place to be for me trading. It's like you got to start at 1 a.m. and
yeah,
finish at 8 a.m. It just doesn't make sense. It's like working night shifts. You might as well work in a factory.
yeah.
Like,
That's not
yeah. So what account did you purchase
yeah,
with
yeah.
TraderScale? What size account did you purchase with us?
I've got a 25K funded account.
How did you like find the like level of support you received with TraderScale? Like, was it satisfactory? Is there anything you think we could improve on? Generally, was it okay for you?
No, I'm happy. Like I said, I mean, I was profitable in the first month, and I put in my payout request. As soon as it was approved, it was paid really quickly.
Yeah,
I mean, you little bits and pieces of you keep coming and going. I got paid in crypto as
yeah,
opposed to getting paid through. I can't remember the name of the other firm now, but
maybe
yeah, I
right.
just got it straight into my
Okay.
crypto wallet, which I found. Yeah, I didn't want to
Yeah,
go to use Rise, so I got paid into crypto. It was easy, and I mean, it's if you want to transfer that over, you can just sell the crypto off and go back to dollars and then
right
pounds.
in.
It's as easy
Yeah,
as
having
that, really.
Revolut make that quite easy, don't they? Sort of like Monzo and stuff like that. They make it quite
Yeah,
straightforward. I think, yeah,
it's all straightforward with those sort of accounts about now. It's easy peasy, that sort of stuff.
yeah, great stuff, great stuff. So, how did you find the platform and the dashboard? Was it quite easy to use for you, or was there any like difficulties? We try to make it as easy as possible,
No,
in trading.
no, I think the platform in a positive way. There's no bells and whistles. It's not super fancy, but that works well. You know, everything
It's
you
not like
need
too
is there.
technical, right? So it's quite
No,
easy. You know, it's smooth. We want to make it as smooth and as
very
easy as
smooth.
possible for like people to like grasp it quite quickly. That's
Yeah,
kind of our aim.
it's very easy to navigate. Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
perfect. That's great. So, how did your initial perception of trading kind of compare to like what the reality is?
One difference I did notice is when you start out on you know, you're just doing trading with a dummy account sort of thing.
Yeah.
You can go a bit nuts. When you're actually trading with real money, you sort of you become a bit more calculated once the risks are a bit realer. I guess you calculate it out a bit more. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
big difference between trading with, you know, fake money and real money for sure.
Oh, 100%. I think the psychological factor changes massively. You know,
It
I
it
remember
switches most instantly. Yeah,
yeah, when I first started trading, you know, a demo account, I was blitzing. I was like, "Oh, I got this, mate. I got this," you know. And then
exactly. Yeah,
when I put, I think when I first started, I put a couple of £100 into a broker, just like tacked it straight away, just gone. See you later.
yeah,
Quicker than you
yeah,
can see go, pretty much. I think I doubled it, and then I just no risk management. Just you know, when you first start, it's like you kind
yeah,
of go through that path to realize, right, let's just chill out a minute here now. Let's educate
yeah.
myself a little bit before going too crazy. But so you successfully secured a payout, which is awesome, mate, and congratulations on that. What was the final amount in the end?
It was 720
$720.
USDT.
Happy days. It's not bad for a couple of hours work, I guess, is it? You know what I mean?
No, it was good.
That's good. So you
Good.
made roughly about 4% nearly. Yeah, nice, nice. That's good. Good, really good.
Yeah,
Can you
for I was aiming for sort of. I was happy to consistently have two, so four was good.
Yeah, I think like, you know, if you, as long as the consistency's one of my buddies, like he's into account flipping, right? And he's really good at it. You'll go for, with $100, flip it to five, flip it to 1,000, then he'll just withdraw and then he'll start again. And he's
Hmm.
got a good record, but like he doesn't consistently make those gains, you know.
No,
And you only need a few percent a month really to be like to you know maintain a like a healthy trading you know profitability. It's like you don't need to make you know 20% a month, 30% a month, whatever.
I think a good thing to do for your own sort of peace of mind as well is to not try and watch too much what other people are doing because everyone sees Dubai Lambos and
Oh mate,
everyone gets a bit excited. It's cool to look at. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah,
you know, if you really just think if you can consistently gain even 2%
yeah.
month on month and free, you wouldn't say no to it. So,
Yeah, no, that's
you know,
massive. Literally, I think this year I've done 10% in 8 months. So, but we risk like
yeah,
0.25. We risk 0.25%. So nothing, you know. But we pretty much
yeah,
consistently do that. We've only had one negative month and it was like minus 0.5%. So that's definitely a good mindset and a good way of
yeah.
looking at it, mate, to be honest, because you know, a lot of people get sidetracked by the you know the glamour and all this and yeah I'm sure that is definitely you know I was just chatting to someone on the podcast recently and he's like well you don't start trading out of joy. You're not going to be like oh well I want some joy in my life so I'm going to start trading now, which is true, right? You start because you're like right I want the freedom and a bit of cash, right? It's you know it's just
Yeah,
it's honest, like no one starts going oh yeah it's like a hobby, you know. It's not like I'm playing football or something.
yeah.
So yeah, brilliant. I'm really happy that you've secured that payout. And like, how was your process during the challenge? Did you encounter any tough periods? Were there any psychological issues where you're like, oh, I don't know, like this bit's tough, or how did you find it?
It wasn't too bad to be honest. No, I think a good thing to do is to put it bluntly. If I mucked it up, it was money that I made sure that it was money that I was willing to lose in the first place.
I think you
I
have
think
to have
it
that.
doesn't mess with your head too much. Then I think it
Yeah,
does.
exactly.
I made sure I put some aside and I had that money, and you know it could have gone either way. I think
Yeah.
I knew that if I had lost it, then I wouldn't have been too. I would have been a bit sad, but yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, great. I'm glad to hear the process was quite smooth with the challenge and stuff. Sometimes it can get really mentally draining trading, and even the big boys will say that. Like one of my buddies trades for Standard Chartered in London, and he said, and
Oh well,
one weekend I went out with him. And I met him. He's like a family friend. He's like a couple of years old. He's like 38 now, and he was really really miserable one weekend. I was like, "Oh, what's up?" I just started trading. It was like 5 6 years ago or something, and he was like, "I'm down big, bro," and I was like, "How big?" And he was like, "Millions." But then he pulled it back in the end, and but he was really not. You could see in his face, he was like, I'm under a bit of pressure at work and stuff, but
pressure.
I was like, bloody hell, I lost 100 quid last week like that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So,
yeah, and it can turn on you. Can turn on you pretty quickly as well. That's the thing. If you're not managing
no,
it, it
100%. The emotions are very, very like a lot of traders that I've interviewed on previous podcasts when I used to run a separate podcast, and it was a lot of people say like if you can get the psychology, you're sweet. But I know a couple of traders that are like really hard on the psychology, but they just don't care about losing. Like they'll lose five or six in a row, they just won't care, and I just like can't believe that. I'm like,
yeah,
oh, I don't want
yeah,
to.
yeah.
If I lose two or three, I'm like really sad. So yeah, I kind of get that. The evaluation structure and everything was fine with TraderScale. Did it align with your trading style?
Yeah, yeah, it's fine actually. Yeah,
Yeah. What do you trade, by
yeah,
the
it
way?
works well for me.
What instruments do you trade?
Mainly, well, I do quite a lot of XAU USD,
You do a bit of gold. Oh mate,
and
I hate
I've
gold.
just started.
I hate gold so much.
I have been looking at crypto as well, but that's just the same as gold, really. It's just as
Yeah,
volatile as gold,
that's even worse.
or even worse. Yeah, yeah.
Tell us
I
about the
quite.
moment you had your big payout. How did you feel? Was you like right buzzing, or let's keep a level head? How did you feel? What did you do? Did you just go out and celebrate with your mates? Did you go celebrate with your missus if you have one? What did you do?
No, I just put it to one side. So roughly what I thought was good is the first month the account didn't owe me anything after that, which I was happy about. So any money that I put in,
Yeah,
I was back on level ground, which obviously I was happy about. And that's
yeah, so,
that's 1 month in. I think it was 30 days. I didn't go ballistic, but
yeah,
I
I got
just
you. So
took
yeah,
it in my stride.
I just had a guy. He said, "I just took my wife out for dinner." I was like, "Oh, it's really nice." But a lot of people are quite level-headed on you, and they're like, "Oh, I just put it to the side. I paid off one or two things," and it's like it's nice when
Yeah,
you hear stories like that. This is why we do this. A lot of people have this kind of mindset that trading is really difficult. Like I have a lot of friends who are like, "Oh, dude, I wish I could do that. It's so difficult." I'm like, it's actually not though. If you learn a little bit about it, I
sure.
think what it is the trading terminology that confuses people. That's when people are
Yeah,
like, oh, I'm scared of that. But it's actually not. If you put time and effort into something, you're going to get good at something eventually, right? You might fail a few times.
yeah, yeah.
No one starts being good at something straight away. Whether it's football, whether it's whatever, whether it's, I don't know, like being a tree surgeon, you don't
Mm.
start being good at it, do you? You know what I mean?
Back now, and I think like there's a lot of terminology in trees, and even the name of trees, Latin names of trees, and there was a point when I didn't know any of that, and I can reel it off now. So I'm working to. I'm not amazing. Don't get me wrong. I'm far from it, but
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm learning, and anyone
Yeah,
can
learning.
learn.
Just continue
Yeah.
continue educating yourself. It's all about that. Like I said, I've been doing it like 5 years now, and I'm still learning, bro. Like
Hmm.
it's about
Exactly.
putting
Yeah.
the time in, just putting the time in. And like I said, another thing is like I think personally it's important as well. It's like the having a job where you've got your income and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
just
Exactly. Yeah.
treat it as a bit on the side, and then one day maybe you can switch it around a bit and maybe focus a little bit more on that. And that's I mean that's the dream, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm super buzzing for you, man. Honestly, so were there any immediate changes you made to your trading strategy after the payout, or you like, right, okay, I'm just gonna keep consistent with this. This seems to be working.
Yeah. I'm just sticking to where it is at the moment. I'm happy with it how it is.
Yeah,
Probably one thing that I would have done if I could have gone back was probably saved up a little bit longer, and I would have probably got a bigger account.
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, there's always time for that, maybe in the future. So, like, if you've got any advice to anyone any aspiring traders who want to make their own kind of little story of their first success in trading, what would you say to them? And like, and is there anything you wish you knew before? I have thousands of things I wish I knew. Like I could have probably cut it in half the time that I'd spent learning. So is there anything you could say to people watching this? Like, what would you do you shouldn't have done it at the start of your journey?
I mean, I want to make sure I'm giving you a good answer for that one. I would just say, you know, come into it with at least the basic knowledge. Try and get some sort of guidance off others who know what they're doing.
Yeah,
That's one thing for sure. I would say another thing. What I would say probably is when you're seeing people talking about trading and stuff on social media, just think about your own journey as
yeah,
opposed to trying to be where they are right now. Because I know some people are definitely are out there in Lambos and living in Dubai and stuff like that. But if you're working towards that, that's fine. But you don't want to try and aim to be there in 2 months' time.
yeah,
Just stick with it and go
100%.
steady, I would say.
That's a really good answer, mate. So that was worth the wait, I think. Yeah, like focus on your own journey. Like I said, I usually close out with guys. Every journey is unique, so don't try not to focus on what others are doing. Something might work for you that might not work for others. So it
Exactly.
depends on you as a person. How do you feel about prop firms, and do you think that they're quite necessary to start, or do you like how does it compare with putting money into an actual broker? For example, your own money.
With a prop firm, it's almost like you've got access to a huge amount of capital, which would take the average person a long. I mean, you could access capital, which would be some people's, 4 years of some people's salary. So
Yeah,
if you think about it like that, it certainly cuts
yeah,
out the process of building up your funds.
yeah,
And I know there's a lot of things in place to make sure that you don't go too wild, but I mean,
yeah,
the risk is really all on the prop firm.
yeah. I
They're
think
the
that
one risking their
100%.
capital and letting you trade with it, which is
No,
which is great.
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's good.
We need them rules because otherwise there won't be any money. You know what I mean? Because some people lose their head, especially some beginners. But it also
Exactly.
I feel like it also installs that discipline into trading. So like when I first started a broker, I was like,
It
oh,
does, and
good.
that's
I
a
was
good
like,
place to start.
I'm
It's
risking
good to have that
20% per
discipline.
trade, and then I'm like, wait, that's not the way to do it. The way to do it is
Yeah,
like this, steady, consistent gains. So yeah, I'm glad that you liked TraderScale, and I'm glad we were able to help you through the process. And like I said, if you need any extra guidance,
just
just
going back to where we were a minute ago. There, just
go
a
on.
quick point I would probably add as well. Something that I wish you said about something I wish I knew before.
Yeah,
I would say to anyone, don't let fear take over it too much. But also, if a position's sitting somewhere where you were aiming for, say if it's even 20 quid up,
yeah.
and that's what you were aiming at, then close it rather than sometimes if you try and get a bit greedy and let it run, the market can just as quickly turn against you. So don't be.
Exactly.
You can make it in 2 minutes, and that could be an hour of someone's salary or
Uh,
double even
yeah,
sometimes.
exactly. I mean, 20 pound an hour is not bad actually. Like, so you know what I
Exactly,
mean?
exactly.
Yeah, I feel like that too. It's like, don't greed plays a massive part in some traders,
Sure.
these as well. So that's something that everyone has to go through. You get a bit excited, and then sometimes you get it, and then what about if it goes more? The markets, no one really. I don't believe the markets. No one really. You can make a very good guess, a calculated guess, but no one really
Yeah.
knows if it's going there or there. You can make
No.
very good guesses based on history and fundamentals, etc. But yeah, no one really knows. So, it is about that as well. That's a really good point. So thanks for that, Ben. So for traders who may be struggling, what would you suggest they focus on?
Just learning, really. Just take the time to learn and maybe just stick to one pair. Even if you want
Okay.
to start with that, it's always good to just stick to one pair, one time frame,
I would
and then
agree
you
with
don't
that.
get it doesn't get too complicated. Then I
I
would
would
I
agree
would
with
say,
that. Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, because if you
'Cause
watch something
it's
enough,
quite
right?
easy if you
Yeah.
if you go onto social media, you can see some people are trading this and that and the next thing, and then you jump between and you won't really master one or the other.
Yeah, you go around in circles then. Yeah, I've seen a lot of my friends personally do that. So
Yeah.
back to square
My
one.
phone just flashed up at 10% battery, by the way. So if I cut out, don't think
Oh
I'm being
yeah, no.
rude.
So like as I'm just about to close out the interview now. So
Cool.
Nick, thanks for coming on, sharing your story. It's
Thanks very much.
always great to like hear these stories where it's possible, whatever stage in life. I've had people that are, 24. I've had people that are 58. It doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
exactly.
As long as you put the effort in, I guess the rewards will be there. So
Just a quick
thanks,
question
Ben.
outside of that is, if I wanted to get another 25k account to make a 50k account,
Okay.
can I run the two accounts together, or would I be
I'm
best
not
just
actually
going for?
sure about that one. So I've just started
Okay,
this. I've just started this job as the interviewer. So the podcast
okay, sure.
and social media
I'll
manager. So
I'll ask
you,
the
if
question
you
somewhere else.
if you
Doesn't
ask
matter.
Liam,
Hmm.
Liam's the head of operations. He'll be able to tell you. You probably
Magic.
will, I can imagine you will, but some firms are different. It depends on the rules. So just ask. But like I said, your journey, mate, your dedication and discipline, you've got a good strategy. You seem like a very nice guy, so we're buzzing for you.
Thanks
And
very much. You too.
honestly,
Cheers.
like what to everyone watching, remember again, like I said, each journey is unique. Take inspiration, but make it your own. Don't get too focused on other people, I guess. And if you found this interview helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, share with someone who needs this inspiration, and let us know in the comments what part of Ben's story resonates most with you. So thanks, Ben. And
Thanks
yeah,
very much.
yeah,
Have a
best
good
of
one.
luck in the future, buddy.
Cheers,
Ta-da.
mate. Take care. Thank you.
Ta-da, bud. Bye-bye.